Hey guys, second live stream of the day. First off, I am not at home anymore. I am out at, Tulalip. Enjoying the game, and I thought I'd do a quick live stream. Yeah, it's a little crazy, ADHD moment. We are talking today, once again, this is the Coffee, Camera, and More show. Episode number 2. I'm William Davis. I'm the owner of A.P.C Photography and WDCD Media. If you have any questions on how to do video, photo, sound, light, productions, or need productions done for any of those services, just reach out to me. The information's on LinkedIn. Easy to contact me there. And also on YouTube, it's going to be in the bio section. I'll start adding it to the information section too on this. Just getting used to doing these live streams. We're kind of shoulder to shoulder, so you're going to see some like bodies pop in and out of the screen. So today we're going to talk about transcoding. Now, if you don't know what transcoding is, it's probably going to be fundamentally one of the most important things that you do in your career as you start evolving in the video production landscape, as per se. So, for example, if you are someone who is looking to further your career in high-end production, be part of something where you're major motion picture. I'm going to try not to get people on these screens. You're definitely going to have to learn how to do transcoding. So let's show you an example of it now. As you can see on the screen here, we have these Sony Catalyst Browse Up. And the reason why we have Catalyst Browse Up is this is where you're going to do your transcoding from. So if you're a Sony user, you definitely want to start transcoding some footage to take advantage of two major things. I said two. Number one, if you have to turn in an MXF file, let's just say, for instance, you're working on a major set and they're doing a commercial for Reebok, any sports shoes, anything like that, Nike, since we could do Portland. And you're like, I don't have an FX6, so I can't do an MXF file. That is incorrect. You can transcode any of the files that you're getting from the FX series, so FX30, FX3, which both don't have MXF internally, to an MXF file, which includes all the metadata. So let me walk you through how to do that real quick. You pick where your footage is. In this case here, I'm using some of the footage I've used before. Let's just pick this interview right here. Click on the information section right here, and you will see the date this was shot, what time so it was shot, the length of the video, the type of codecs it is. In this case here, it's long GOP footage, 422, your colorscapes, which color space you shot this in, the bit rate, video size, if it's progressive scan, total frame count, all the different bits of data that you would not think would be in this from an FX30 is here. It even has a UMID number, which if you've been doing video a long time, being able to trace your footage all the way back to the beginning on an edit and say I deserve credit for it is really nice to have. Even the C70 from Canon, and I don't know if the C50 has it or not, has to go through a secondary process to get their UMID number. It automatically happens with any of these Sony cameras, which is extremely nice. Any of the A7IV forward, I've seen the UMID number, and all the FX series camera have it. So all the data's here, all the way down to like focal length, your gains, what degree you were shooting in, all of the different bits of information. Why this is important is because, number one, if a client has requested they get an MXF file, you can say, no problem at all, I'll have that for you. Just allow yourself enough time. So if you shot for, I don't know, let's just say 2 hours or 3 hours, put that amount of time extra into your schedule because it's going to take you roughly about that much time because it's transcoding if it's long GOP. If it is an all intra file, it is super fast because it's not having to convert long GOP to all intra. It's not trying to compress that file down. So basically how this works is you go to the export page right here, which is this one. Select the location, which I've already done. And then you come over here, go all the way down, and you look at your options. So The source is a 1080p. The source is this. And then the best match for it, it's going to say right here, rendering preset, is XAVS long GOP. But you'll see an option over here that says main concept. Now, if you do this with the file, hit main concept and hit export, this will render up here. Oh, that's fine. It takes a little bit of time to render, so it's doing it right now. This process takes a couple of minutes, but it opens up a wide world for you. Number one, if you need to turn in footage to somebody who is requiring or requesting that you have have information on the footage, the MXF footage, it's going to make a huge difference because they're going to want that footage. And if you can deliver that to them, if they say that's on the request and you can say yes, you're getting the jobs, baby, because that's a higher level job. And number two, if you are a colorist or you are going to be doing some color work, there's an extra benefit. So first in the transcoding, you transcode and get the MXF, which then puts all the metadata in a much more readily available container to be read. But since that is already readily available to read and it can go into the file information the same way a raw file would, I'm going to show you something really cool. Imagine if you could take a regular long GOP file and act like it's a raw file. Now, this is something that's available on Sony. This that I know of is not available on Canon, and it's not available on any other manufacturer. If they do happen to have this type of process of converting or transcoding the files from the company, please let me know, but I have never seen this as part of their ability to do. So the file should be done. Let me check on it right now. About 5 more minutes. This is what I meant. Like, this does take time. It's going to take a couple minutes here. So as it's rendering, I'm going to talk about some of the benefits that you're going to gain. Number one, or if you want to like skip ahead 5 minutes, because just skip ahead. When this plays back again, just skip ahead. One of the benefits of going with the Sony cameras is you're going to be getting some of this extra back-end support from Sony. And this is the reason why I'm kind of an advocate for the Sony cameras until you start getting into the $5,000 and $6,000 cameras, where you have the options on the MXF files, where you have some more options with ProRes. If we're just talking like massively powerful cameras, Sony's just got it. They provide some of the best support. They give you the ability to basically do anything and everything you want to do in a camera, in what you're doing, every single time. And that's not something I can say consistently about everything else, because I've used every single camera out there, from Blackmagic. Wait, I haven't used an Arri. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't used an Arri. Use the Reds, use the other ones. They're pretty dang good, but the support you get from Sony is just next level with the type of equipment they're going to give you and the back-end support. So as we go through this process, I believe we're probably like 2 minutes from it being done, so I'm apologizing. Got no music, got nothing special. Let's talk about the coffee, because that is part of the show. So if you ever are at Tulalip, they have the bomb coffee. So I think it's called Killer Coffee. Yeah, Killer Coffee. They brew this stuff at the bartender stations. Fresh brew. This stuff smokes everybody except for Vita Cafe's coffee. It is so good. It tastes so good. You can get a free cup, like a normal would cost you like $4 or $5 cup if you're in downtown Seattle, for free, as many as you like the whole time you're here. And for someone like me who will drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee, it's great. Let's check on this render here real quick. Uh-oh, 3 minutes left. What else could I talk about here? This is going to be boring for a couple of minutes. Did I transcode some footage earlier? Yes. Why am I doing it the long way now? To show you it does actually take a little bit of time to do this transcoding. It's kind of important to understand the process of what it takes to do some of the things you do. And this is not a weak laptop, so I've got a dedicated video card. I forget which model it is. I've got a Core 9 processor, so it actually does a pretty good job for editing. It's just transcoding takes a little bit of work to get it done. Let's get him out of the shot. Well, there we go. They're out of the shot. Once we get past this stuff, it'll get kind of exciting. Let's talk about DaVinci Resolve too while we're at it. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to get the DaVinci Resolve up here, and we'll start talking about DaVinci Resolve. So we have DaVinci Resolve up right now. Let me share that on the screen. I've got DaVinci Resolve up right now, and what we're going to really do on this is we're going to start loading information in here. And what's really cool is if you transcode your information with an MXF file from Sony, I have not checked this with all the others, but with Sony, it acts like a RAW file in the fact that you can get really, really specific in the coloring and adjustments. And it's actually in a lot of ways more powerful than the ProRes RAW that I'm getting out of my Atomos Ninja V, which is saying a lot. Are we done over here transcoding? 35 seconds left, so I'll be done transcoding here in just a second, and we're going to get down and dirty with what we're doing with coloring. And I appreciate your patience and watching the video. I know a lot of people say they know this information, and then it just kind of pops up, and they're like, I don't know, it's perfectly edited. This is live as you can get. Like, I'm watching KC right now. They are 1st and 10 and 0-2. Dang. KC's getting killed. They should be doing better than this. All right. Anyway, let's get back to editing here. So let's start adding in some footage. So we are looking at Harry Ellis Lexus. This is still a long GOP file. Not going to change anything yet. So right now, if we look at this file, it is 60 frames per second, or 59.94 with a drop frame style. It is an MXF file, which is different than a normal .264 file or MPEG-4 file, as you probably noticed that there. And then if we just drop this into the timeline, you'll see this is in log footage. So we are definitely shooting log, and this is a great little location that we're in. I've got good angles. Looks like I got a lot of data there to play with. But oh, here we are. We're in the color page. Now that we're in the color page, this is where transcoding becomes a huge benefit. Now, first off, as you can see, we have a pretty good scope right here. This is nice. I mean, it got it in parade, so a lot of people look at it in waveform. So this is a really good waveform. I've got a lot of data in here. The highlights look like they might be a little clip, but I highly doubt that. We'll look at it once we get everything done. Overall, this looks like a really solid shot and easy to work with. We'll come over here to Camera Raw. Now notice, these two options are available, so you can choose to use Sony Full Res, use Project, whatever setting you want. Now if we go into Project, we can go Camera Metadata, which is this is the metadata that came in, or we can go Clip. Once we go into Clip, notice everything opens up. So now I can look at ISO, I can look at sharpening, tint, how I shot it, shadows, lights, all of it. Which means I really don't have to leave this area of screen to take advantage of all of my setup here. And what's even more amazing is I can choose how and where we want to do this. So this is S-Log 3, but if they wanted it in Rec 709 and Rec 709, boom, there we go. All done, Rec 709. People are saying you're done with your color. I was just able to switch it over just like that. And this is still a really beautiful starting image to start with. But let's just say I wanted to have more of a gamut look, which you'll probably notice here. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and share it back again because the way DaVinci Resolve works, I have to do this to show you full screen. Now, if you look at this here, the tone on her right now is beautiful, but this has got a little bit of that green shift that you see a lot from Sony footage. And the reason why it has a green shift is because I'm able to act like this is a RAW. I told it to go to Gamut 3, but not the Cine. Now, if you're someone who likes to shoot in the wider color space of the Gamut 3, you will have greens, a lot more green in your shot. But if you're someone who tends to shoot in, let me remove this. The only thing I do not like about the way this is set up for DaVinci Resolve is really hard to do the full screen windows. It just doesn't like automatically switching back and forth. But if you put this into Cine, you will see that this gets a little bit better skin tone on it. And I'm going to show you that in just 1 second here. And now you'll see that she has more of a mahogany look and less of the greens are pronounced. And the reason for that is in Cinetone and Gamut 4, Gamut 3 Cine, it leans more towards reds and magentas. And this is a huge positive for you because if you transcode the footage and you shot it in a Gamut 3 and didn't use Cine, and you want to not have to fight the greens, you can by changing the color scape you're working with. Instead of being more pronounced on the green, you're more pronounced on the reds, which gives you a better mahogany when it comes to skin tones. So this is one of the areas. I thought I already shared that. Sorry, I'm going to repeat this whole thing again. So this time when you take a look at it, you should not be doing this stuff when you're out of the Tulalip Casino just relaxing watching football, but I'm having fun. These are my fun things to do. As you can see right here, her skin tone is more mahogany than it was that mix of brown and green, which is super nice to work with. And with that, it's the reason why I want to switch your gammas. And this is part of the reason why I tell people to transcode this. It really does make a big difference. Now, I'm going to go in here because I feel like it. Hi. Yeah, I am. That's why I'm like, yes. Yes, I am. All right. Well, I'll be done here in a little bit. Because you choose to be over here. You choose to be over here, and that's just what happens. All right, so when you're out here live streaming and your wife is like, I want to jump in and talk to you about something, and you're like, hold on, I'm doing something. She can't believe I'm live streaming. But hey, she's out here all the time having a good time. Back to this video. Since we are looking at this and can do all the color changes, this really makes a huge difference. So I can actually go in here and do all of these changes real quick. Or I can just sit at Rec 709, or I can go back to Cine, and I can go back to S-Log 3. Now we're back to this. The other nice thing about this is since I can actually change exposure, it's super nice. But if you notice, this is not giving me the option where it pops up 800, 1600, 1250, 200, 100, 125 ISO. This is actually really cool about the Sony footage. I can dial in the exact ISO I want. So if I felt like I wanted to get this down, it's like for me, I perfectly like just a line below 640. So if I go 1150, yeah, 1100. I am right where I like being. this at 640 when it's sitting inside of your scopes is beautiful for working with Sony footage, because then if you just do a direct over the Rec 709, it just pops perfectly. You get great pop. You have a good scope. These highlights are a little blown out, but watch this. This is not very hard to fix. Like, I can bring those highlights down really easy. And what's really cool is I can bring the highlights to here in the raw type shooting, and then I can come over here to the HDRs, pop in here. Now, yes, I am not spending a bunch of time doing multiple nodes. Reason being is I used to be a photographer, and we would just do a lot of color grading and knowing how to mix colors together and blending light. So actually really easy to do if you know what you're doing. And the reason why I'm doing this little bit of highlight drop is I want this not to be just white. I want a little bit of the cloud in there, a little bit of the blue in there, just enough to say this isn't a blown out image. I want the edge of the trees to be seen. I want all of that dimension to be seen. We're going to switch this over to full screen. So let me come over here. We're going to stop sharing for some moment, and then we're going to go and pop this in place. And we're going to play it. I'm going to see how this looks for a few seconds as to, the footage I got. And really, this is how you can get more color out of a long GOP 422 footage if you transcode it in Sony while you're in DaVinci Resolve. I cannot talk about any other NLE because I do not know how any other NLE would play with it. But, I mean, you're looking at the color looks really nice. The presence looks great. She pops off the background. And this is one of those great ways of working with color. And then what's really cool about this is I'm going to do a color space transfer. And I don't think you can see what I'm doing right now. I think it's just stuck on the other field. Let me see. Yep, it's just stuck on the other field. I'm a single monitor moment right now, so give me a moment here. I'm going to do some quick changes here on the timeline. I'll take this LUT off. And because I know how this will kind of turn out, I think you'll like the color. Because I like to do a color space transfer. I really, really love the presence of red's color. It just tends to pop. But I've learned how to color both, and it works really good for this application. So let me stop sharing this for a moment, and then I'm going to add back the sharing, because it basically pauses on the screen there. So now, her skin tones have really changed. And this has got a little more punch, a little bit more energy to it, and a little bit more of that blush to it. And the reason why it looks like this is because I went and did a color space transfer to Red 4, which I like being able to do this, and this is really something I'm capable of doing because this is acting like a RAW. Huge difference in how you can use your footage, and this is why transcoding is extremely important. This transcode in DaVinci Resolve makes a big difference. I see you're watching right now, so let me show you this from the beginning. I'm going to remove this one real quick. You're not going to believe this. This is actually Sony footage long GOP that you can do just like a raw footage. So I see you there. Give me just a moment. I got to share the screen. I'm running off of one screen, and if you knew where I was at, you'd be like, why are you doing this? All right, so let's go back to the camera raw section. This is camera raw, and the footage I'm using shows MXF, but this was transcoded from a Sony file with the Sony Catalyst browse. And once you put the MXF in there, you are able to do all of the coloring and everything you enjoy doing as if it was a raw file, which is awesome. I've done some adjustments to the ISO, and this is sick. So I had one viewer, showed them what we're doing. But anyway, that's basically what I do with red files, with these files, and turn them over to a red. And now you can actually see where I've transcoded it, where I've transferred it in the color space to red 4 and gamma 4. Yeah, I guess it's red color 4 and red gamma 4. Overall, easy to work with, and if I wanted to add a little bit more spice and a little more light to it, I could just raise the luma like that a little bit. I found red footage just in general is good around 800 on the scopes. I don't know why, but it just seems to look best at about 800 on the scope. And it gives a good warm color, it gives presence, and it gives all the rest of it. So long story short, and even short, it's like 24 minutes. Welcome to Transcoding with Sony, and if you're interested in learning more about this stuff and you want a more documentary style, informational style, where we walk you through every bit of it, explain why this is important and how this is important to your productions and to what you do, I am here to help you. There's 3 programs that are going to be released in the next 6 months, and the first one should be released by January. These programs are for small businesses, medium businesses, and large businesses. So the small business, the single owner, is going to get the $100 version of it, which will pay $100 a month. There will be videos that walk you through the basics of this and how to get you going right away so you can continue to make money and work these pieces together and how they work and workflows. For the medium-sized businesses who are trying to educate their teams, I walk through an education program for you. It will have more documentation and walk you through different processes, and does not have a leadership role in it, but it will allow you to have a teaching course specifically for it. And for the large businesses, so like the Encores and the rest, that, let's be frank, Encore, you could use some love when it comes to your editing, and you could use some love when it comes to your color balances and live shows. Not to say that you're terrible, it's just the new equipment has just gotten more advanced and more options with it. Already large teams that are running, $5 million in revenue or more. We have a $5,000 a month program. And that one is a deep dive with the ability to reach out to somebody who is available to speak to you a maximum of 20 hours a month. And those classes are going to be there for you in a more expert laid out with guides and everything that you can download as PDFs and all the rest and have them ready to go for your team and section to section. And the reason why there's tiers of pricing is going to be tiers in how you're going to be utilizing them. Beyond that, I wish you all the best. Have great shoots and knock out the best color you can with whatever you got. This was a solo shoot, but I've got other shoots that I'm going to be showing in here. They're going to be a 4-man team, 3-man team, and things like that. We're going to be going over audios, visual, every aspect of doing production. Thank you for watching. Been a pleasure. Bye-bye.